American basketball star and global tech investor Andre Iguodala recently visited Nigeria, his country of descent, in his capacity as board member of Jumia Group, a leading e-commerce firm in Africa. It was an opportunity for him to engage the media on his views about the e-commerce market in Nigeria and his advocacy for attracting critical investment for the tech space in the nation.
Spending the last 6 years with the Golden State Warriors. It's in San Francisco. We call it Silicon Valley. That's where a lot of the tech startups begin. That's where a lot of the funding happens. That's where a lot of the access is to the tech space. And I really got myself involved into the tech space. And it's been a great ride for me. Learning experiences, taking some losses, having a lot of success as well. The success is going really well right now. So trying to find out when that balance is going to happen, because there is some risk there, and we'll talk about risk today in terms of being able to a company having funding and not having to worry about being able to grow at a fast rate and having to worry about funding. But I've learned a lot in that space over the last 6 years, followed a lot of different tech companies there, which naturally led me to the opportunity to be back home in Africa and be involved with a company that's ingrained in Africa with Jumia, and the largest market being here in Nigeria. So I felt like it was a perfect match. And then with the IPO being in April, and my duty, part of my duties on being on the board is to bring that awareness to the U.S. investors on an African company and the opportunities and the growth that is here, as you all know. So still in the early stages of that, and there's that fear in America of developing countries, and just trying to help them overcome that fear and being able to go in and be an investor and see the growth opportunities with the different platforms that Jumia provides, that you all are working hard with. Juliet's working so hard with. So being here, being able to see the warehouse, being able to see the vendor location where the vendors can go and do their drop-offs on a daily basis, and interacting with a lot of different vendors has been amazing as well. So for me to see all this has been an eye-opening experience, but obviously I've studied it, I've read it, but to be up close and personal has really been a great experience for me, especially being a professional athlete. Where back home in America, they limit us to just being a professional athlete and just saying, play basketball and, earn the dollars in that space and retire, and, they don't really prepare us as much after that. So we're getting better and better. I have a Players Technology Summit for all athletes, not just basketball players, to help them navigate life off the court, whether they want to get into business, whether they want to have their own startups, investing in the tech space. This is my third year of the annual summit. So a lot of the athletes have heard about Jumia. A lot of the athletes have done their homework and research on the company. So we're very much aware of it from an NBA perspective. And I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but the NBA is developing a NBA Africa, where we're going to have different teams in different locations. I think we're starting off with 12 teams, I believe. So that's going to be something that's exciting, that's coming about within the next year. And we're seeing if we can possibly collaborate with Jumia and do something with the NBA Africa team. So that's going to be very exciting. So that's another part of my duty, being on the board, is trying to bring that partnership about as well, being that going into my 16th year. So I've been playing in the professional ranks a while, but a lot of my interests now are off the court and surrounded in the tech space, surrounded in the consumer space, enterprise space, and a lot of the things that I believe are the future of our world. Jumia is tackling a lot of those things with the marketplace, with the payments, which is Sasha and I are talking a lot about, and with the logistics. So I'm really excited what the future holds for the company, and continuing to be a part of the company, assisting whenever possible, and lending my expertise where it lays whenever possible, and just always want to continue to reiterate how excited I am to be here and to show my support of the company, and to always wanted to rally the troops and let you know that we're there whenever we're needed, as far as me and the board.
He speaks further on his visit and shares the expansion prospects for Jumia Group.
Being with the company on the board since the beginning of the year, bringing my expertise about what I know about the e-commerce space and how the company can continue to grow, the possibilities. We have a great user base. We have a lot of users, and what we found is that there are a lot of opportunities that we can continue to add for the users. One in particular is advertisements and advertising, and we found that a lot of the users are spending a lot of time on the platform, even if it's not particularly buying. So that's been something we've taken advantage of that's going really well. We're going to see that next quarter earnings. At the same time, obviously you have the marketplace. I've been able to go to the warehouse. I've been able to go to the vendor distribution center as well, which was great to see up close and personal, other than reading about it. And the interaction I'm having with some of the sellers is creating jobs at the same time. And when you look at the platform, it's saving people a lot of time and a lot of money as well. When you look at the platform, it's a lot cheaper than going to physical stores. So our logistics department is doing really well too, in navigating ways to package and deliver a lot of the products, and with a lot of the traffic and the density of the city and the population. So there's been a lot of positives. The path to profitability has been spoken upon a lot, and we continue to reiterate that we're going to see that in the future.
For Juliet Ananama, the CEO Jumia Nigeria, Andre Iguodala brings a wealth of experience that will help to boost the operations of the e-commerce group.
Andre, as you know, is an established NBA superstar. He's also an accomplished tech investor. So he's been able to pivot not just from playing basketball, which he's done very successfully, but also become an important investor. So for us on the board of Jumia, he's someone who represents an understanding of tech, because he has a lot of investments in that space. And then secondly, also being Nigerian and being able to visit Nigeria and actually see what Jumia is doing in Nigeria. As an example, I mean, we are in 14 other African countries, but Nigeria is his home base. It lends a lot of credence to a lot of the things we talk about, because you can be an investor, but not having seen. Okay, you're just looking at it from a financial perspective. But he's had the experience of coming. He's gone to the warehouse. He's gone to the vendor hubs. He's come to the offices. This is our call center. He has some of our businesses here, Jumia Travel, Jumia Food. So interacting with people, asking questions. Yesterday, the kind of questions he was asking was direct to one of the operators on the floor. So that helps in terms of being a bridge between tech investors there and then the company itself. So that's one area in which he's been quite helpful. And secondly, because he mentioned it also because he's on the compensation committee of the board, and he's bringing a voice as an African and saying we want to make sure that we deliberately look for strong African talent. So for example, we're looking for a new director on the board, a female. They want the person to be African, but also have experience e-commerce marketing and all of those things. So being that voice is very important. So being the connection and the bridge between Jumia, which is an investment he has, and other tech investors in Silicon Valley has been a great value. And there's tons more that we can do with him, and we look forward to the future.
Andre Iguodala is one of Nigeria's outstanding sportsmen in diaspora that is leveraging investments in the tech space. His optimism on the prospects for the growth of Nigeria's e-commerce market is a good signal for attracting more vital global investments.